Look at that. We're on the Liberal side there. Yeah. That's pretty good. Okay, I got the minister here.
Mr. Mike Holland.
Mike Holland, okay. And I only had a drink of coffee. I don't know how this is going to go.
Is that your first coffee?
Huh?
Is that your first coffee?
Yes, just my first drink. Say, about this land claim.
Okay.
Since when the government gave their views when the matter is in front of the courts?
Well, as far as that goes, as it relates to anything related to the specifics of the land claim, you know, I'm the Minister of Natural Resources, so I deal with the forestry industry, but related to the land claim or any of the subject matter around that, I can speak about the forestry industry, but the land claim title itself, I don't or haven't spoke about anything
Yeah,
like that.
you had a news conference.
But I didn't speak about the land claim title. I talked about the forestry industry and what that represents for New Brunswick.
$1 trillion?
$1 trillion. No, the forestry industry, $2 billion a year in
No,
revenue.
but didn't they say it costs, $1 trillion?
Yeah, I've talked to him. I have no idea what the concept of the cost would be.
Now, this is a person with ADHD that will really, that want to give his opinion, but can't. This is going to be really good. Okay, let's continue. I see you, but at the end of the day, you'll be a backbencher. Okay, and don't forget the salary.
Charles LeBlanc. Okay, you heard it here. Charles LeBlanc is going to cost me my job.
The salary goes way down. Okay, so if you turn around, you're a former hunter, like me.
Former? Okay. I still try to get out.
Like me.
Yeah.
I never thought I'll see the day that I would fight for Natives issues, because ever since they labeled me as the #1 racist against the Natives in New Brunswick, I don't fight issues. But this issue here is different. They wouldn't know a racist if they bump into it. Don't answer that. But anyway, you turn around. If you're a hunter, and you weren't a politician, wouldn't you applaud the Natives for doing this to save the forest?
Well, the hunting heritage with First Nations, I mean, I've always recognized that. I mean, I've always been a student of that. I mean, and it's long before I ever got elected. And with
but there won't be no forest.
And with First Nations
if you were just a hunter, wouldn't you be happy at this court case? The Natives are going to save the forest?
Well, take the court case aside. You must have seen some of the work we're doing to reclaim the forest, to reclaim the habitat, to reclaim the areas where we're going to see wildlife populations actually grow.
They're clear cutting like crazy.
But have you've seen the work that I've done?
Yeah, but did you see the interview? There we go. There's another Liberal. See, they're smart. During the opposition, they opened the door. Oh no, they're coming out. That was about. But didn't you see? Did you watch when I hunt down J.D. Irving on the street? Did you see that video?
Oh, I think I did after he was in here in the legislature. Yeah.
So, his arrogance. Is there maps about clear cutting?
I can't speak to that. Yeah, absolutely. But there's also maps that talk about the proposed areas of conservation. And the truth of the matter is, we've done that within the last year. We're just announcing them, I think, at the first of the year about the stuff that we're proposing to conserve. So, Charles, I can't stand up trees that have been cut, but we can preserve areas so that in the future, the problem with announcing conservation is that it's got to grow, it's got to build. So I can make an announcement today, a spot that's cleared today.
Yeah.
If I announce that we're going to preserve that, that's not going to grow overnight. So everything I'm talking about doing, actually, I'm a hunter, I absolutely am. But what I'm doing today is actually not going to help me as much as it's going to help my children or my grandchildren.
So, what's the opinion you had in front of that news conference to talk about this land claim?
I talked about the fact
in front of the courts.
No, all I spoke about was the forestry industry and how complex it is. And you've got big forestry companies, but you've also got guys that run harvesters. You've got the private woodlot sector that needs to feed their wood into that system. Even, there's people that sell Christmas wreaths. They load transport trucks of wreaths and send them down to the States. They buy from different pieces of that supply chain. It's important that New Brunswick just knows about how big and how prolific that is.
Wouldn't you agree that the Forestry Act? You weren't around. I see if David Allward would have listened to me, he'd still be premier damn show guest. Right, the last month, him and Pedro Bichot, hailed as heroes by the Irvings, signed the Forestry Act. And that was in 2014 for 20 years, right?
They're 25. There
years.
ain't a forestry company that's hailing me as any kind of a hero.
No, but I mean, they were, you know what I'm talking about. They were hailed as hero. Now, where was I getting at with that? The forest, where the hell was I was going?
Have another drink of coffee.
No. You questioned me, okay?
No, you're talking about the forestry deal in 2014, and
yeah. Hold it. Now, the Forestry Act was signed. Thank you. 2014. See, it always comes back. I better say it before it escapes again.
Spit it out.
2014.
Yeah.
Forestry Act.
Yeah.
Bengal hails as heroes at J.D. Irving Limited. Thank God. And then you had just a few months ago. They turn around. How about I give him a really blink eye? Turn around and say that's a little.
Focus.
Say they were short up here.
Yeah.
And then they say, please, we don't want spraying. But the natives are speaking up, but the government don't listen. They had the Forestry Act. Bingo, never talked to the natives. The spraying, the natives are begging, saying, please stop the spraying, it's killing animals. So you guys don't listen. So then they turn around.
I'm going to stop you. I'm going to stop you. I love you, but I'm going to stop you because you're not representing that properly. First of all, by taking it seriously.
Are you trying to tell me I'm fake news?
No, I'm not. No, you're not. Actually, I would be the first one to say that you're absolutely not fake news. You're about as real as it gets. But we had First Nations from all forms of representation. We actually added more days for the First Nations to come into our climate change committee and talk to us about that and a variety of different things. But the climate change committee has put together a series of recommendations. It's brought before the legislature. One of the things that we all agreed on, all parties in that committee agreed on the fact that in the event that we immediately stop spraying, the allocations still go to the companies, but now it takes more Crown land to fill those allocations. So be careful. If we immediately stopped a herbicide program, it would mean that the amount of clear cuts and plantations in New Brunswick would actually increase. Now, as a conservation-minded individual, I don't want that. The Greens don't want that. The People's Alliance don't want that. So what we're saying is that it's not a matter of not listening. It's a matter of fully understanding the impact and the scope and finding alternatives to it. So I would totally disagree with you that it's not a matter.
But you haven't consulted with the natives when it came for the Forestry Act.
That's a separate issue. That was before we were there.
It was a conservative. It was the government. Never mind, Liberals, a conservative, NDP, Green. The government put this Forestry Act. 20% of the Crown Forest is destroyed.
No, it's not.
And then
it's not 20%. It's not 20%.
Fake news
yeah, you get your numbers off a little bit. But anyway,
you're hiding.
I won't haul you on that. But what I will say is that
you notice the sun came out when we started.
Sun always comes out when we talk, Charles.
Yeah. Oh, it's going out again.
But I've said to you, and I've said it publicly before, that I had significant concerns with the 2014 forestry deal. Absolutely. Yeah. The 2018 platform that we ran on, I wrote that, and I said we're gonna revise the Crown Lands and Forestry Act. We're gonna. Yes.
Did you?
We have been.
Is that why J.D. Irving was here? How come you still got a job?
Well, I'm pretty thick-headed, and I'll tell you why. Is because what we're doing is making sense, and it's a progressive plan that's actually doing good. I mean, do you see the full results of what I'm doing today? No, you won't. It gets very frustrating because I know that people say, oh, look, but I still see a truckload of wood going. Well, you still will.
And super highways in the woods.
But you still will. But what we're doing is, in addition to that, what we're doing is we're saying, let's contain industry to this area so that they can feed the mills, because there is $2 billion worth of revenue that comes, or GDP and economic activity that comes from it. I'm not going to shut that off. I've been very public saying I'm not going to shut that off. I feel like we can all live under the same roof. The biggest difference is that, if I can humbly say it, we're the first ones that have had the guts to say conservation, growing, protecting